Hey, are you thinking about moving to Seattle, Washington, maybe even a suburb like Issaquah, Washington? Well, in today's video, we're going to jump into my computer so you can get a lay of the land in Issaquah, a city that's just delightful, 20 minutes east of Seattle, Washington, about 15 minutes east of Bellevue, Washington. You're not going to want to miss this video because I am going to tell you all the cool spots in Issaquah and why this might be a wonderful place for your family to move to. So if that sounds of interest to you, then stick around and let's jump right to it. Hi, this is Kelsey Anderson, and if this is your first time in my channel and you want to know about moving to Seattle or the suburbs around it like Issaquah, then subscribe to my channel and tap that bell for notifications so that you can be the first to know about the current market here in Seattle, Washington. I get contacted all the time from people just like you looking to make their move to Seattle, and I absolutely love hearing from you. So whether you're looking to move in 7 days or 70 days, get in touch with me using the information in the description below so I can help you make that move to Seattle. All right, so let's get into my computer and see what's around Issaquah, Washington. So here we are now in my computer. You can see Issaquah on the map here outlined in red. And I just wanted to show you its proximity to Bellevue and Seattle. You're gonna have to pardon me today. My voice is a little bit deeper than normal. I'm at the tail end of a pretty nasty full cold. But here Issaquah is a town of just 40,000 people, and it is located on the southeast corner of Lake Sammamish, one of the prettiest lakes in the suburbs around Seattle, Washington. It's just to the east of Bellevue, about 15 minutes to Bellevue and about 20 minutes to get into Seattle. Now, to get into Seattle, you're going to hop on I-90, which you can see runs west to east here. So it starts right in Seattle at Lumen Field, and then it just goes all the way to Boston, Massachusetts. But this is going to be your main highway that takes you from Seattle through Bellevue into Issaquah, and then further east is you're gonna hit the mountains. So now let's zoom in and check out more of Issaquah. So what is around Issaquah, Washington? Well, if you've seen any of my other videos, we've talked about Renton, we've talked about Kent. Those are going to be towns south of Issaquah. We've also covered Bellevue. Bellevue is over here on the west side of Issaquah. And then to the north of Issaquah, you're going to see Sammamish. So Lake Sammamish is that long, 7-mile lake that I've talked about before. You see it right here in blue. But bordering Lake Sammamish, you've got towns like Redmond to the north, Issaquah and Sammamish to the east, and then Bellevue on the west side. So bordering Issaquah is just going to be Sammamish here to the north. Then looking to the west is going to be sort of northwest is Bellevue. And then on the southwest side is Newcastle and Renton. And then further to the east, you just hit mountains. It's like where Cougar Mountain is, sort of the Issaquah Alps, if you will. But if you keep going out, you'll get to places like Preston and Falls City. Go a little further, you hit North Bend. So those are the towns out further east, beyond the mountains that sort of sit on the southeast side of Issaquah. The median home price in Issaquah is sitting right at about $1 million, $57,000. So it's definitely a little bit higher of a price point as compared to some of the towns I've covered south of Seattle, but definitely is right in there with Redmond and Kirkland to the north, as well as Sammamish directly to the north, and then Bellevue to the east. So a little bit cheaper than Bellevue, but it's right around there in that sort of higher price point when you think about the Seattle suburbs. Niche.com gives Issaquah, Washington a number 5 rating of the best suburb to live in. in Washington. So I think that's pretty special. It's one of my all-time favorite places to live. I wish I could buy a house in Issaquah. I might just do that one day, and I highly recommend it because this place, especially if you're an outdoor enthusiast, and what brings you to the Northwest is just that beautiful sort of Northwest life that is here in Issaquah. So some of the top ratings from niche.com. Niche.com, first of all, gives it an A+ rating. So it's kind of like highly rated like Bellevue, and that's where that high price tag on homes comes from. But it's given an A+, and it's good for families. It is the public school system is an A+, the outdoor activities and the health and fitness all get an A+ in Issaquah. And those are just the A+. If I went through all the A ratings, we'd be here all day. So just know that it gets a lot of awards from niche.com. Issaquah also has Costco and Krispy Kreme. People come from, I grew up in Bellevue, and I came over to Costco in Issaquah because it's one of the only suburbs on the sort of east side of Bellevue that have a Costco. So that's pretty important. I do want to take a second and point out not only where Bellevue and Seattle is, because I already mentioned that, but I do want to show you where SEATAC is located as well, if you need to fly out and you live in Issaquah. So Issaquah is a little bit further from 405, and so that's going to take you a little bit longer to get to the airport as opposed to being in Auburn or Kent or Renton. Those places that I've covered in past videos are a little bit closer, but it's not too far. So we're talking about 20 to 30 minutes depending on the time of day. So probably an average about 25-30 minutes to get to the airport. And you're just going to hop on 90. So like I said, 90 runs right through the middle of Issaquah. 900 is a little state route that runs sort of north and south, and it's going to take you into the Renton part, which is like the southwest part of Issaquah, is like Newcastle and Renton. So you'll either take a 90 and you'll hit 405 here, which gets you in a little bit of traffic in Bellevue, and then you can go south on 405, and 405 will take you right down here to SEATAC. So that's one way. You can also take 900 to 405 this way, and then that will take you to SEATAC. These are non-tolled roads, so pretty easy as far as payments concerned, but it might take you a little bit of time just because you're a little bit out of the city. Next thing I have to show you, if you are moving to Issaquah, Washington, you probably are at least at some level, an outdoor enthusiast. So I got to show you what is a little bit further east from this zoomed out map before we jump in a little bit closer. So heading out on 90, you are going to get through Preston, which is still in Issaquah, and you're just going to continue out. You'll hit Snoqualmie Casino if you want to stop there, but then you get to North Bend, and that's kind of where some of the more intense outdoor fun starts. Tons of mountains and hikes right in Issaquah, because you have got Squawk Mountain and Tiger Mountain right there. But if you go a little bit further out, then you're going to hit your bigger slopes. You're going to be able to ski at Alpental or at Snoqualmie. You can also tube in inner tubes down the hill. You can also float the river in the summer, things like that. So that's just about 20 minutes east. You hit North Bend, and sort of a few exits further, you hit Snoqualmie Pass. So really awesome, fun stuff right there, just east of Issaquah. Some of the other places that Pine Lake is close to, like I said, you've got the mountains just right in your backyard. So we've got, you'll see Squawk Mountain right here. Same thing with Tiger Mountain. All those trailheads are over here. Some other fun things are Pine Lake Park. I covered Pine Lake in a different video, but it is so much fun. There's a little lake people live right on that lake. It's non-motorized, boats only, but so fun. And then you have gorgeous Lake Sammamish, which is that 7-mile lake that borders a few different suburbs, but Issaquah is on that southeast point of the lake, and it is right in your backyard. Some other fun things to do right here in Issaquah besides the lake, because you can't use the lake all year long. It does, get cold part of the year. There's lots more fun things to do, and you don't have to go into Seattle to do it. So over here, you've got the Cougar Mountain Zoo. So that's a really awesome place for families. They definitely do events there, but it's a little bit of a smaller zoo as you compare to Woodland Park Zoo, which is in North Seattle. But this is a really fantastic zoo. It really highlights endangered animals. It has some really cool animals there for the family. And then you also have the Issaquah Highlands, which is a very popular neighborhood we'll cover later, but this has Grand Ridge Plaza, which has a movie theater, tons of restaurants that we'll get into, and it's just a really quaint area. A lot of brand new housing developments have gone up there. You got lots of condos, and the walkability is incredible to get to bars and restaurants and just like some little cute places that have been popping up. So that's a really awesome place. And then, of course, you've got your mountains, right? We've got Squawk Mountain, we've got Tiger Mountain, we've got Poo Poo. Sounds like a weird hike, but it's really fun. You can paraglide off the top. Really cool. But in addition to that, in Central, so you'll see Front Street right here, but this is just a really cool old town Issaquah. It's got a lot of character, lots of amazing restaurants down there. You can go down there and see your play. Lots of bars and just kind of like cute places down there. You've got Gilman Village, which is also down here as well. It has a bunch of shops and little artistic places, and they have events as well. But it's just sort of like a fun place to go if you're in Issaquah. There's also Pickering House, which is a place you can get married. It's right down there. You've got Costco in that area. REI, all the Target, all the things that you need are going to be kind of in this vicinity of Issaquah. Next, I wanted to show you where the high schools are and sort of the boundaries if you live in Issaquah, Washington. So over here on the south side, you've got Liberty High School. Liberty High School is a fantastic high school that also Renton residents will also feed into, but this sort of southern region of Issaquah will feed right into Liberty High School, but it is in the Renton Highlands actually. Then you've got Issaquah High School, which is in that central part and sort of, I would say, most geographical home. Like I would say the biggest geographical region in Issaquah kind of goes to Issaquah High School. And then you'll just see part of northern Issaquah go to Skyline High School because the rest of Skyline High School has kids from just north of there, which is the city of Sammamish, which is just to the north of Issaquah. Sometimes people put Sammamish and Issaquah, they think of them together because they both just share that sort of east flank of Lake Sammamish. But Issaquah School District is a fantastic school district. It's rated A+ rating from niche.com. It's got 19,000 students. 77% of students are passing in reading, 71% are passing in math, and 97% of students pass high school in just 4 years. So super awesome graduation rate and just highly rated schools here. Next up, I want to talk about the restaurants. So there's going to be two sort of main parts where you've got a bunch of restaurants that sort of have a lot of character and popularity, but there's kind of sprinkled throughout the whole city. I would say if you live out here, you definitely don't have to feel like you have to go into Bellevue or Seattle to go find wineries and breweries and lounges and family restaurants and cuisine from all over the world. That is located in Issaquah. So a great place for families to go eat. There's so many different residential neighborhoods in the Issaquah proper that they got to go somewhere to eat. You don't always want to have to go into Seattle. So one of the places is Old Town, which does have that like historic downtown feel over here. After you go, see the salmon hatchery, which is kind of a neat place. You can come here. You'll see Jack's Grill is actually on this map, but Jack's Grill is a super popular family restaurant. There's also Stan's Barbecue down here. There's also Sip Thai Bistro, and just lots of other restaurants in that Front Street area, which is right downtown Issaquah. I zoomed in a little bit closer to 90. So we know when the map is zoomed out, you sort of see a North Issaquah and a South Issaquah. If you think about just I-90 being that sort of center point going east to west. So right off the freeway here, you've got your Trader Joe's and your Target and your REI, things like that. Issaquah Cafe is right along Gilman Boulevard as well. As well as the Dough Zone, which is a really popular place to go get your dumplings, things like that. And just lots of other restaurants down here. Now I'm popped up over here in the northeast part of Issaquah, this just beautiful Issaquah Highlands area that's just been developed lately. It's gorgeous. That's where the Grand Ridge Plaza is, I was talking about earlier. You've got a crumble cookie up here. You've got the Ram. You've got just lots of like family restaurants, but there's more. You've got Agave Cochina and Tequilas if you like Mexican restaurant. There's Ahi Sushi. There's Zeke's Pizza. And if you haven't had it, the Habit Burger is an absolutely fantastic burger joint. They also have one of those down in the Issaquah Highlands, close to Bevmo, where you can pick up your beverages if you'd like to indulge. Before we close out this video, I want to direct you to a really cool resource I found when kind of looking into some of the details of Issaquah to share with you. The city of Issaquah has this amazing website that goes into details about all the neighborhoods. So if you're thinking about moving to Issaquah, Washington, of course, I would help you take you through the neighborhoods. But if you just kind of want to get an idea of some of what some of the neighborhoods are known for, this is a really cool website that I think you should check out. You can even play videos and it'll show you. So this is Montreux. And this is, it just kind of goes through the master planned community and sort of where it is. And you can see from this map up here, it is in the north west part of Issaquah. So this is just going to be just north of I-90. You're going to be really close to Lake Sammamish. Lake Sammamish is imaginary. It's right here. So that's really cool. This is a super expensive place to live just because of the views of the mountains and the lake. But Montreux is a really popular neighborhood in Issaquah. Toulouse is also another popular area full of residential homes, sort of in the central, south central west side of Issaquah. You can see right here, it's outlined in green. And here is just some idea of what this master plan community looks like. Super family friendly. It's also fancy because Issaquah is a little bougie like that. Heading over to the northeast side is back to those Issaquah Highlands. So this is what those neighborhoods look like. This is where the Grand Ridge Plaza is. And it really is like an urban village. You've got so many things that you can walk to and just feel like you've got and just feel like you're still in that beautiful green background of Issaquah, Washington. One thing I love about the Issaquah Highlands is there are places that are going to fall under that median home price of just over $1 million because there's lots of condos, brand new ones that are 2-3 bedrooms, 2-3 floors, so that you can kind of get that city life a little bit out here in the suburbs, with that, all those hikes and the lakes right in your backyard. And so that's really special for people. Another neighborhood is Providence Point. This is the last neighborhood that I'm going to cover today. But this is a really cool neighborhood. It's actually in the tip-top north part of Issaquah before you hit Sammamish, Washington. But this is actually for the elderly community. So you actually, I shouldn't say that old because it's only 55 and older, but it is reserved for 55 and older families. It's not for the kids. So if you are looking for a place and you want to be, you want to have lots of things to do, but you don't want to be surrounded by, crying babies all the time and other things that might annoy you, this could be a spot for you. Before I close out this video, I just want to end you with, if you just look at this map, you see lakes to the north, and then you see forests and greenery to the south and the west. So this is just a beautiful city. It's a suburb that's not too far from Bellevue and Seattle if you have to commute there for jobs. But it's just gorgeous. All right, so to wrap up this video, I just want to tell you that I had a great time showing you around town in Issaquah. And if you come to town, I would love to show you more kind of specifically what you might be looking for in a home. But I hope you did find value in this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tap the bell for notifications so that you can be the first to know about the current market here in Seattle, Washington. I hope you have a fantastic day.